Hello, and welcome to the podcast There Are No Good Games, where we discuss our opinions on past, present, and future games, as well as a whole load of other filler to keep us sane while we wait for a good game to play. Let's begin. Hello, and welcome back to another wonderful episode of There Are No Good Games. I'm joined again, as always, with my lovely assistant, co-host. How would you like to phrase yourself, Ollie?
Yeah, I'm here.
You're here.
That's me.
Yeah, that's the main thing. You're here. You're ready to talk about podcasts. You're ready to talk about new things and everything in between. Yeah, we had our Christmas period. We've had our first podcast already come out for the first time this year, and we're into the stretch of Jan 2025. Have you been up to much? Been playing anything good at the moment, Ollie?
No,
No?
no, I haven't. No. I mean, I think on the last podcast we mentioned Dredge, and I did actually play some Dredge, but that was like over Christmas. Other than that, no, I don't think I've played anything that I would say, how would I put it? That I would say has been above average.
Yeah. No, that's fair enough. I've been diving into some Final Fantasy 14, trying to pick that up a bit, and then I try to remember what else I've been playing. We've been playing some Power Word, which has been a different game. I don't know quite where it fits in terms of like a Pokemon spin-off mixed with Digimon, mixed with like a survival Rust kind of game. I still think it's quite light in terms of gameplay and stuff like that, but holistically I think it's getting there, you know?
Sure. I still think it's still not up there. I would say it's I stick with my analysis of Power World before we played it.
Okay. What was your analysis of Power, just for the listeners?
That is definitely not a good game.
It's not a good game. Okay.
No.
Interesting.
It's still exactly as I thought it would be. Yeah.
And kind of talking about not good games and kind of like, I don't know, you've played Dredge, which is like an indie kind of game. I've been playing Final Fantasy 14, which isn't an indie game. I think some of the, I don't know, do you have any like favorite gems of like independent games that you think are out there? Like if you had to give like 2 or 3 gems to suggest to viewers who are maybe on like a downward slump, they've had the Christmas period, they've opened up their Christmas tree or the presents under the Christmas tree.
Yeah, they've opened up their Christmas tree. That's a problem.
Yeah, they've opened up the Christmas tree. There's Beatles everywhere, and they've decided to buy themselves a PC. Do you have like a couple of good indie gems you can recommend to them to kind of get them onto it? Or if they possibly bought a Steam Deck? Like, I think those are kind of the 2 things I'd imagine people getting for Christmas this year.
Yeah, Steam Deck. I mean, Beloutro would be a modern one, I guess, on the indie scene. And which would go well on it definitely is good on Steam Deck. I've played it. And God, I mean, it could be anything. There's loads of stuff that does work on the Steam Deck. That's kind of good for it. I guess you could play something. I mean, you could play Dredge. Yeah, you could play Dredge.
Dredge is very cozy on the on the Steam Deck. I played it before. I quite enjoy it.
People want to play though, doesn't it? Like not every people don't like certain types of game. I mean, I could say like Ori and the Blind Forest, where there's 2 games of it. I'd say that's a very good Steam Deck game, but it's a side scroller kind of action game. It's not necessary for people.
I do find that like most games nowadays, if they're an independent game, it's its own genre, and then the subgenre is like indie side scroller, indie Metroidvania, indie something. If that makes any sense at all.
Right. No. You need to elaborate further on that one, I think, for me. Yeah.
So if someone comes up to me and goes, Tristan, I've got this great indie recommendation, I go, okay, I'm kind of more open to the concept and idea of it. So if someone said, you should go and play Dredge, for instance, I would go, oh, that's a really cool independent game. I wouldn't categorize it as an independent survival adventure game. I don't know how to categorize Dredge. But that's the sort of thing I'm getting at. Like, I feel indie is its own form of categorization on top of everything else. So
Right.
you get like the
I mean,
big
I
ones.
don't. I mean, on Steam, it's its own category, but
Yeah,
it also, but it's not like a separate category, as
no,
in
but it's like a
it's like a headline
subgenre.
category.
It's a
No. It's a main genre for Steam, but
yeah,
you have to pick at least two.
yeah, yeah,
So like
yeah.
indie and then horror, let's say, or indie and
Mm,
then you don't have to pick indie if you don't want to, even if you're an indie studio. But
okay.
it just depends what it's to help people find those tags.
No, that's completely
Those are
fair.
called primary tags on Steam. Indie is one of
Primary
them.
tags. Okay, I didn't know that. I thought it'd just be like it's weird. You don't have like a triple A game or like a quadruple A game if you're talking about Skull and
No.
Crossbones and Steam, do you? Unless you have like
Yeah, you do.
you
Those are
do
tags as well.
triple
Yeah,
A.
those are
Okay.
tags. They're not headline tags, but they're definitely tags.
So what's the difference between a primary tag and a secondary tag? Does a primary tell you what you're playing versus the
No, it's
subgenre,
like
or how does that work?
no, it's key headline ones. So like, it's usually the ones that people like. You can easily they're like big categories. So like
Mm,
casual, indie, horror, no, open world is the secondary one. Action, adventure,
yeah,
those kind of ones, and then you go into pointing as second, like smaller ones. They're not called secondary ones, but they're smaller ones. Minor ones are like point and click, FPS, third person, first person, ones that again just define how the game works. And it even goes into like, zombies and stuff like that. Again, those are all minor categories you can add.
yeah. Okay, that's interesting. So your two would be Ballo Outro and what was your second independent gem
It
recommendation?
could be, I don't know. It's not Silk Song, that's the one we're waiting for. What's the one
Oh,
before that?
Hollow Knight.
Yeah, just Hollow Knight, I guess. Yeah,
Yeah.
that would be an easy one for the Steam Deck. Yeah.
Metroidvania, very cozy, well, kind of cozy. Metroidvanias I always find have like a really high skill ceiling and require a lot of like input and time and dedication, but it's like a really cool world. It's like old 2D animated. It's very nice and it's a cool vibe. It's different, right?
Yeah.
Have you finished it out of curiosity or?
No,
Oh, okay.
no. I mean, I haven't played, haven't played
Yeah,
that much on games, but
no, that's fair enough.
yeah.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah, yeah, that's how I'd explain it.
Okay, I've got a couple of recommendations, and I'll kind of fire them out, and I want to get your hot, unrefined take. Ollie, you ready?
Okay.
Cult of the Lamb. Good indie game, or
it's all right. Yeah.
yep. Other one I was going to suggest is Death's Door. Have you heard of that?
Death's Door. I haven't played that, so I can't comment.
You haven't played Death's Door?
No, I haven't played every game.
Okay. I thought you'd. Sorry, when we were talking about this, I thought you would have played Death's Door. So Death's Door, for context, is you play. I think it's like a Reaper, and a couple of souls have got out of the afterworld or the end world, and basically it's your job to go reap them and come back to your life. But you play as like a little crow. It's very cute. It's very wholesome. It's very cozy.
I think I've seen it.
Yeah.
But I've not. It sounds familiar.
The only thing I'm going to caveat it with, and this will be your complete no, I'm never going to play this game, is it is isometric.
Yeah, I don't play isometric games in general.
Okay.
General rule, unless it's somewhat exceptional in some way.
Okay. And then my other two I was going to suggest is Peglin. It is like a pachinko kind of roguelike battler game.
Right.
Which I really enjoyed, honestly. It's kind of like you can play a couple of rounds, very quick, very easy to play, and then you kind of drop it and carry on with your life. And then the final one that I really enjoyed was Backpack Hero. Which
I've heard of that one as well.
Yeah, which is basically you put stuff in your backpack, and your backpack can grow size as you're like going for the different levels. And by putting things in certain places and adding them together, you can use weapons, and they can counter off each other. They can like counter, they can combine, they can do a bunch of other stuff. And it's really, really, really cool because it like builds up. It's like an engine game. And I kind of like those engine games that work out really well. But those are my indie game gem suggestions that I can recommend for people to play if your grandparents or uncles or other family members are gone. I don't know what to get Jimmy for Christmas, I don't know what to get Jimmy for Christmas. I will get him a Steam card instead for his Steam Deck or his PC. Here you go, Jimmy. Go and enjoy this game. Does that make sense?
Yeah, makes sense. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, that sounds fair to me.
So, Ollie, it's the new year. We're very lucky to have two very keen, very passionate listeners who have written into the email podcasts@dungeoneers.tv. And yeah, my email is quite interesting. It basically says, "Hi guys, really enjoy the podcast. I really enjoy the segment where you guys design games. You guys should pick a word every week and design a game based off that word," which I think is a really cool concept and kind of idea. And I think it should definitely, and this is going to be my vote to add this into the podcast going forward, I think it should be part of our our podcast ritual, you know? Have
Right.
have a random word generator, and we have to design a game based off that word. It can be like a 15-minute challenge that we both work on together and then go from there. But I'm also aware that you've received an email as well.
Well, we both received it because it's in the same inbox that we
That's
have
true.
access to.
That's true.
Yeah. Yeah. So if you want to, so you've read out the first
I've
one.
read out my, yeah, I've read out.
Should we tackle that first?
Yeah,
then?
we can tackle that first. So I've got a random word generator. Or would you like to just tackle the, how would you like to do it?
I don't know. You've read out the email. I thought you'd planned this out.
So I've got a random word generator in front of me.
Okay.
And basically it is a random word. There's one word and it's all types of words. And I will generate it and then we can discuss a game based off it and design a game together. Are you ready?
I see. Yeah, sure.
Okay. The word is performer. Okay. Let's have a think here. So I think for me, performer leads into either two things, like a talent show competition or like a roguelike. I don't know why I want to say roguelike, but I feel like it's like a roguelike band adventure game. Like a couple of people are in a band together, they're working to fight things with their musical powers and they try and defeat things. What's your view on the word performer?
Performer. So hold on, I'm still getting my grips around this because obviously I haven't really planned this out. But so we've got this theme, and the theme of the game is performer.
Yeah. So we've got to design a game, but the word that we have to design it off or like springboard off is the word performer. So
right.
So in my head, I read that a couple of different ways. I read it as like a band. I read it as like a cabaret kind of thing, or I read that as like a dancer kind of thing. Do you get what I mean? Like those are the kind of categories that comes to mind. How about yourself?
Yeah, it could be like trombone champ. You know, is that kind of game? I reckon.
Okay.
Yeah, something like trombone champ. I mean, if we're going slightly off piece, you know, anything is technically a performance, you know. So it could be like in an arena, you know, like the Colosseum. That's technically like kind of a performance, right?
Yeah.
It could, you know, what about, you know, like the classic Lines, is it Lionshead or whatever, the studio they made the movies. That's a classic game. Which a few people have attempted in modern times to try and remake, but I don't think it's.
Oh, you mean black and white, right?
No, the movies. They made black and white as well.
Oh, the game, the movies, right? I see what you mean now. Sorry, I was like, are you talking about movies as in like the Gladiator? You mean the game as in the game of Gladiator? But I get what you mean now, right? Okay.
Right, I don't know what you're talking about, but yes, yeah, talking about the game called the movies, yeah. So something like that. That's technically a performance. Yeah, something like that.
Okay, so you can run like a talent agency. That could actually work. So you run like a talent agency, you start hiring talent, you watch the performances, and then you can hire them into like dance shows as backup dancers. You can then hire them into like TVs, movies, that sort of stuff.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah, that could kind of work, and you can kind of build up your empire that way. So like you said, kind of like the movies, you build up your career, you get like assistants, you can go watch the performances as well to see how they're doing, and maybe talent scouting and stuff like that.
Sure. Yeah.
But would you have it as like would you have this more as like a management style game, or would you have this more as like a you as a person get invested in? So I don't know, let's say you're the talent scout, would you give yourself upgrades to work out who's better? Or it's almost giving me that what's that, game dev tycoon kind of vibe?
Yeah.
Like talent sheet agency.
Yeah, I think it could be like a talent agency. That could work. That's that does sound like something that could work for this. Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, personally, this is not. It's okay. It's not exactly sounding like the game I would play personally.
Okay.
But that's fine. That's fine. Yes. um. Yeah. Okay. Well, I mean, that sounds all right as a game.
Yeah.
Like a talent agency game.
Yeah. Talent agency game. Like you start off with one person. There's a lot of work you have to do, but then you can go get someone to go be like the scout, and he's better at like, or she is better at like working out if the performances are better or worse. And you kind of build up that, and you got like someone who's like your, I don't know, matchmaker or connection person in the background, connecting like different artists to different performers. And then it's basically trying to take a cut, and then maybe you can like, I don't know, springboard off into like a music agency recording label-ish kind of thing, and then maybe like a TV reality show kind of thing, or like Instagram. I don't know. I'm trying to think of how we can do this.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, like I said, I'm not really feeling this game, but I mean, like, I mean, it's okay. It's okay. I mean, what's the target? Who's playing this game?
I think it'd be an iPhone game, right? It'd be like a
iPhone game.
Yeah, like I played a lot of Game Dev Tycoon back on the iPhone, back in the old days, and I kind of enjoyed that holistically. What would you kind of do as your pitch for the game then?
Well, I mean, like I said originally, I thought this idea was mine. I thought I came up with this movie's talent show idea.
Yeah, no, I'm just saying, but like, how would you like pivot off it? Because you said you weren't a big fan of like the Game Dev Tycoon kind of thing, so you'd actually like sit there, record performances, and do all that sort of stuff, or?
No, I think performance. Yeah, you get people, and yeah, this is called, it's like a talent agency game simulator. That's what it is. It's a talent agency simulator.
Okay. And what would you do in this talent agency simulator, from your opinion?
Yeah, people come in. You have to take like their headshot. You have to like find them. You have to, obviously they have like different attributes about them. So you're trying to find the right role. If you put in the wrong role, it goes badly. So then it's kind of, you get punished for not doing the right thing.
Do you imagine this more as like a first-person simulator kind of thing? Like you're sat at a desk working, trying to connect people?
No, it's definitely not first person.
Okay, no, I was just curious. I just saw that when you have to take the headshots, you have to connect them. I was like, I can see that.
No. It's like I said, it's like a Sims kind of game. Sims game is what I would say.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I like that.
That's where I'd put this as. Yeah.
And what kind of performances would you have? Like musicians and all that sort of stuff, and dancers, or would you be
like models? Models. Yeah, I guess. Yeah, something like that. Okay. I mean, yeah. This is. I mean, we've given this theme, and I guess this is what I've kind of designed. But I mean, like I said, it's not really my style of game personally, but that's fine. That's fine. That's not the point of this. Okay. The point is to try and design something.
Yeah, I think
semi-decent somehow. Yeah, that'd be what I say.
Yeah, okay, I can kind of see that, and I think it works. Maybe next time when we get the word, you can lead off the ideas and go from there. Then, if that makes sense, so we can like take turns of who leads it and who supports.
Sure. So we're now this is now a podcastly thing, an episode.
I think so. I think it'd be a good idea because like there are no good games, therefore we're deciding your own.
And he's got all this power to dictate what happens on this podcast.
He has been a long listener, to be fair. He's been
okay. Well, what did he start? Did he start off his email? Long time listener, first time caller. Did he start off with that? He did.
Quite literally, it was just like I've been listening to you since the old thumbnails, and I was like,
God,
damn,
those were awful. Okay, fine. Well, all right, fine.
I've been there since tier list days, and I was like, damn, okay, no, it's fine.
The lost podcast,
the lost episodes, yeah, true,
yeah, classic. Okay, fine. Well, that's a good idea. Okay, we'll do that. We'll keep going until it doesn't work. Okay, let's just try that.
Yeah,
okay, so that could be a while. It could not be the phone. I don't know.
Okay.
So we did get another email to this email address, which I saw. So they also commented on Spotify at the same time, but he basically said, hello. This guy's name's Sebastian. So he goes, hello. I've replied on Spotify. Anyway, he wants to answer the question. So he says, Valorant should have won. So this is about a past episode, but I barely remember what I had for lunch.
I think this this is either esports awards or it was Brain Rock Games. It was one of
Oh,
them.
maybe it was the game of the year where we went through all the nominations and who we thought was going to
Yeah,
win.
I think it was best esport game. But yeah,
That could be it. Okay, anyway, so we got Valorant should have won, but Marvel Rivals is way too, and he put in quotes, late to the party, as we would say. That's true. I agree. That's what we would say. The characters have no unlocks, and the way the game is designed gets boring within 1 week. Speaking from personal experience, that's fine. So lack of game modes, with some being one-sided, makes the game mid. Okay, good use of modern language then. Overall, Marvel Rivals should not be Game of the Year, but Valorant should. Thank you for reading. Great podcast. Can't wait for the new episode.
Okay.
So, right.
Do you want to reply to Seb?
Well, I mean, I would first say that I don't like Marvel Rivals, so that's fine. I think I said that on the podcast. I said it was, I'm not a superhero fan. I played Overwatch for a long time, but that's because it felt like different. But this is literally Marvel characters, which I just have no association, and I just can't be bothered. So I have not played it. But that doesn't mean I think it's a good or bad game. I mean, clearly, it's actually recently they said that Marvel Rivals has taken quite a lot of the Overwatch Twitch viewership.
Yep.
Or it's increased while Overwatch has dropped, which is fair enough. They're very similar games. Valorant has been going for quite a while. Now, the problem being is who actually watches Valorant esports? Surely some people must do, but do people watch? I think the question is, did more people watch Valorant esports or League of Legends esports? I haven't kept up to date with League of Legends esports in a long time, but they have a massive viewership. They still have the biggest esports event Worlds every single year. So, I mean, it is new, late to the party. It's true. I would agree, but I mean, it's popular, isn't it? And it's been in beta for ages. Loads of people have played it. What more is there to say, really? I mean, do you agree with him?
I quite like Marvel Rivals. It is a good pick up and play drop game. I prefer it to Overwatch. I don't mind Valorant, but I just find it's a bit whiff. Like, I don't know, it's sometimes some games can be really enjoyable, some can be really tense. Sometimes you just get steamrolled and it's like a painful experience. That makes sense. So what was Seb's question? I'm trying to work this out.
He's just saying it wasn't really a question. He's just saying he disagrees that it should be there, which I think is fair enough. I mean, okay.
I mean, if he disagrees with it, he should really try and get on the game council for next year and then decide what should be on there.
Yeah, but that's the thing. Not everyone is on the game. I mean, everyone's entitled to their opinion right before. I mean, let's be honest here. I mean, a lot of the people who won certain things, they might have not been people's first choice. That's what usually happens at these kind of awards.
Yeah.
There's not really much to say about that. But at the end of the day, it is. I guess it is what it is. Yeah. I mean, what more can you do, really?
Yeah, and I think holistically, right, it's just like some games get in there, some games don't get in there. Valorant for me is like CSGO, like it's just with a different twist in it, so do whatever you want to do with that. League, I still think, as you said, is the most popular. I've only watched one esport, and that was League, outside of watching some university matches of, I think, Rainbow Six Siege and CSGO. But holistically, I think it's just like whatever's entertaining to watch, right? Like if Marvel Rivals is entertaining to watch, I don't imagine it being entertaining to watch because the matches are all very similar. It's probably not that interesting, but like Valorant, I could see to a degree, but it's a lot of just peeking and like timing and holding positions, which I think is boring as hell. And then League, I think, is the only interesting thing because it's a fluid match and there's more going on screen.
Yeah, so, you are a bit of a League person, aren't you? Still?
Yeah, I've still got that. I don't know, growth. I don't know what to call it. Like, yeah, it's just. I haven't peeled it off yet, but it's still good.
I see. Yeah. Some of us, luckily. So, right. So anyway, I think, I think he's right. Holistically, that Marvel Rivals shouldn't have won, and sometimes just because it's new doesn't mean it's better than what's already tried and tested. That may have not been nominated, or may have been nominated but didn't win.
Yeah, and just to kind of throw my last 2 cents, I think some games are done strategically, right? Like Overwatch as a gameplay game kind of area was dead for a while. So the fact they just threw Marvel Rivals like a couple of months beforehand, I think it kind of was just like, it was the right timing. It did the right sort of thing. it had enough time to pop off before it died down. So I think it was just like smart marketing. Realistically, I don't think it was a good game, but yeah, I agree. So it maybe shouldn't have won it, but also they did a good job at marketing it and releasing it on time so they could catch that audience.
Nice. Well, cool. Well, those are the 2 emails we've received so far this year. So you too can get in touch at podcasts@dungeoneers.tv.
Yep, and we'll read your emails out on the podcast, or depending if you like it, we can do a mailbag review because I'm quite a sucker for those sorts of episodes and podcasts. What about you, Ollie?
Well, we'd have to get more than 2 for it to be a mailbag episode, wouldn't we, really?
If we get 5, we will get a mailbag and we'll do it like Father Christmas. We'll hand out emails and just let people read them, you know?
Great. I look forward to it.
Ollie, I don't know. It's been a couple of days. I've had some thinking about it. I want to get your opinion on this.
Mm-hmm.
Games and mental health. I think sometimes they go hand in hand and they coincide with each other. Like if you're stressed out, if you need like a break, or if you just need to like, I don't know, do a bit of escapism, gaming's really good for you. But at what point do you think that switches into like an addiction or an unhealthy lifestyle, you know? Because I think gaming has this weird, like, I don't know, it's got from an older generation, it's looked down upon because it's seen to be very bad to be at home playing games versus going out for a beer and drinking your life away, which is some people's choice. But from a younger generation, it's more palatable to be playing games all day, hanging out with friends and doing all that sort of stuff. Like for me personally, my parents were kind of in the middle. They weren't that fast, but it was more like make sure you go touch grass occasionally before you go play games. And then I know some people are just like games are the devil and they're there to ruin your life. What is your opinion on gaming and mental health?
Right. So obviously there's there's quite a okay, let's unwrap this quickly. So obviously there's the net benefit of it being a form of entertainment.
Mm-hmm.
Is good because it lets people decompress, but then also kind of allows people to do something else and do something that's different from their real life. But then also, it does have and can cause an unhealthy attitude. And obviously, most games you are playing sitting down at your computer, which is fine for the periods of time, for short periods of time, but you should not be playing it, consistently throughout the entire day without like standing up often. I think you're meant to stand up every hour.
So a standing desk is what we need.
No, I don't think that's annoying. Let's not pretend that's like the solution to everyone's problem.
That's fine.
You don't need to just always stand up. That's also the same thing. You shouldn't be standing up all day either.
Okay.
So, but it's just a mixture. You just need to go, go for a walk during the day, get some exercise, even just walking, to go pick up some food from the shops or something. It could be anything like that. You can't just stay inside all day playing games. So, but that's the same with anything. I would say the same thing about TV, even like reading a book. If someone reads, nerd. Anyway, no, if they read a book all day, that's fine. But, they need to take breaks, to, their eyes, again, go get some fresh air and stuff like that.
Yeah.
That would be my suggestion for it, really.
Okay. So you're saying as long as you balance it within like your day and the structures, it's absolutely fine. But if you're being sat at a computer for like 12 hours, it's actually really bad for you.
Absolutely. Yeah. That's when you need to take breaks. But obviously, yeah, but there is addiction for gaming. Let's not forget that. That is something that only in the last couple of years in this country have we recognized as a mental illness. So, there is stuff that is problematic in gaming. There's also topics in gaming that feature in games, again, that without proper explanation and balance can cause issues for people.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think, but that's the same in any form of media as well. So, there's a level of importance of thinking carefully about how long you're playing games and what kind of games you're playing.
Yeah, no, I agree. Okay, interesting. I think this, like, I don't know, it's a weird one. I think gaming's really good for you in like a certain sense because you can get like an online community. You can kind of I think it's a good supplementary or secondary thing to do. It's good to kind of make sure you're doing your work. It's good to make sure you're going out and getting some fresh air every once in an hour every once in a while. But I think it's also really good that sometimes you have a community you can kind of rely on to like speak to. Some people treat gaming really socially, which is good. I don't know. I just think it's like going to the gym, right? It's good to do it a couple hours every day, but don't be attached to it. Try and make sure you're doing your own thing. Make sure you're doing balance, and then make sure you're doing some reading as well, right?
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's about balance, honestly. Um, but at the same time, don't it shouldn't put people off just because there's the I think it obviously has a net benefit,
Yes.
but again, it's important that all these things have to be taken into consideration. It's not just some sort of it's not a solution to everything gaming. It does have its own problems.
Yeah, like there's nothing better than when you're having like a break coming up, or you've taken some time off work, or like you've got a long weekend and you bought yourself a game and it's sat there on your computer. You can kind of go, right, I'm just going to blast through this for a couple hours. Or when there's a new release, playing for a couple like solidly, that sort of stuff's really nice, and it's like a good stress relief. But I always think it's always interesting trying to balance it, because it's like making sure you play enough, making sure you've got the right headphones, making sure you're not making it too loud, making sure you're keeping your posture, versus like being curled up in something or like absolutely sprawled out across like a sofa playing a game. Yeah, it's a good way to like, I don't know, brush off like stress and kind of anxiety and like other things. But it's also just like there is a line at some point where if you're thinking more about the game than you are about like work or like what you want to do, or it's preventing you from doing stuff, that's when I think the line needs to be drawn, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you've just reminded us, quick posture check, good, while we were recording the podcast and people at home. Good. Excellent. Postures in the shape.
Posture check's always a very good one.
Yeah. Good. Yeah. So
Screen
yeah,
glasses.
So what?
Screen glasses? Do you use screen glasses?
No, I don't
You
use screen
don't
glasses.
use screen glasses. Okay, interesting.
Why do I need screen glasses?
It's to stop like the blue light from hitting your eyes as often or something like that.
That's made up. There's no such thing.
No.
You've watched some sort of like Instagram ad and you're like, I've got to buy these.
Just because I've got my healing crystals around my desk doesn't mean you need to be so rude about this.
Yeah, my shungite blocks the 4G and 5G waves. Yeah.
True. Okay.
But where were we? Yeah, so obviously do take everything in moderation in life, obviously.
Yeah. I was going to joke and say microdosing, but I don't think that's the right terminology. But yes.
That's probably not the right thing, no.
Okay, don't microdose games. Big dose.
So in this life, in this world, we're always looking for the next thing we want to like visit, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it could be like your holiday destination. It could be a restaurant,
mm-hmm.
or it could be like an attraction.
Yes.
Okay. So let's think of some attractions that, I haven't been. We went in like childhood, but we haven't been. Like, I don't think I've been to the zoo in quite a while. Have you?
I think I went there when I was like 19, but I do want to go back to the London Zoo, because they do like in July, they do nighttime walks around the zoo with alcohol.
Right, that sounds dangerous. That one, but
it's only in the Friday into adults. I think it's a very cozy thing if the weather's good for it.
Right, interesting.
I'd be down for that.
All right. So I've not heard of that. That does sound interesting. Okay, what about like an aquarium? When was the last time we went to like an aquarium?
Aquarium I've done quite recently, actually, in Montreal or Toronto. I've done an aquarium in like the last 5 years.
Mm-hmm.
I've been doing my zoology and my marine biology as well quite recently. I don't know why, but yeah. Okay, yeah. Zoo, aquarium, Legoland.
So like, let's sort of say, well, we'll just like, okay, well, that's like a brand of theme park. I mean, like, we're not sponsored by Lego. Yeah, but just say theme park. We're not sponsored by Legoland at the moment. Obviously, probably if ever. But Yes, you could go to somewhere like an example of Legoland or your local, theme park. Or it doesn't have to be local, but it could be. Let's not fly across the world to go to a theme park. There's one right at home here. Yeah, I think there's loads of stuff like that people probably don't think about a lot. Like I haven't been to an attraction in quite a long time.
Would you classify Winter Wonderland as an attraction?
Winter, well, it's more of a pop-up, isn't it?
Yeah, but
Really,
still
it's
not.
more like an event. No, it's more like I can
It's a
see what you're
tourist
saying.
attraction.
I mean, you could go. Yeah, it's a tourist attraction. I agree.
Yeah.
I would say, yeah, I kind of see what you're saying, but
Yeah.
I'm talking like the ones that are there like all the time that people have been to before. I mean, yeah, okay, fine. Winter Wonderland is there for only part of the year, but I guess some theme parks are also closed for part of the year as well.
Okay.
Yeah, so I just think my question really was, or thought of the podcast was, what attractions have people gone to, and they're like, do you know what? Actually, I should go back to that and try it again.
Okay. Have you been to any attractions? You're like, I want to go back to that.
I mean, like I said, I haven't been to the zoo in quite a while, and I think that's quite like a cool thing to go do.
I'll go
I
to the
think
zoo with you,
people
Ollie.
forget. That's good. I have someone to go to the zoo with me. That's nice.
We'll go do the Friday one where you can get tickets and you can go do that sort of stuff.
Yeah, get eaten by a lion or tiger.
I don't think they let you. I don't think they like close the zoo and just open the gates and they just let everyone go for it. Although that'd be like
with alcohol. That would be like the purge, but for zoo animals.
for the zoo animals.
Like that's right. Maybe that's
an idea. Well, I mean that's what everyone did in Zoo Tycoon as a child. You're like, lock the gates, it is time, and you just like.
That's true. I do remember releasing animals into people. That's true, actually.
Especially the
maybe
Jurassic one.
Why there I am, the way I am. Anyway, the Jurassic World one and the Jurassic World 2 one. Yeah. Yeah, I guess stuff like that. But obviously, those don't exist in real life. Unfortunately, there are no dinosaurs right now. What about like a natural history museum, science museum?
I did natural history and science in like 2018, 2019. Natural history, I'm really sorry to say, is fallen off. It was exactly the same as I remember it when I was like 14 and I went there on a school trip.
I mean, it's natural. I mean, do they really have like
the ant
what's new in natural history? Do you know what I mean?
The ant exhibit was gone. Like, you remember they used to have like a giant ant colony running around?
I have not been. I don't have a memory
of it,
really.
Right.
Like, yeah.
This is what we're going to do. We're going to do a There Are No Good Games live episode, and we're going to go to a bunch of museums and rate them on a scale.
Okay.
I think that'll be good content. I think that'll be fun.
Sponsored by these museums, like we're going to be sponsored by Legoland or not?
We can speak to the tourist
board
of London.
England National England or whatever.
Yeah,
London. Yeah.
I
mean, we don't know who it is. Let's be honest. We're just making names up. We actually probably, if we were going to get sponsored, probably would want to find out who these people actually are.
Yeah, like I've been to the V&A within the last like 6 months. I went to go see that with my other half, and we went to go see the Taylor Swift exhibit.
That's again like a pop-up. It's a kind of
yeah, but it's still going to the museum, right? It was like in the Victoria and Albert Museum. It was just a pop-up display, if you were.
Okay. Well, this sounds. I'm sure there's a budget for this on the podcast.
Yeah, we can do that.
Yeah,
I think. Okay, right. Hear me out. We'll pick a day or a long weekend, and we'll go hit up the V&A, Natural History, Natural Science Museum, and we can maybe pick one more because they're all within like the same range of each other.
Great,
because they're all in Kensington.
This sounds interesting. Let's do it.
Let's brew on it. I think we can do it, and we can record it as a video, and then we can post it as like our live episode, and we can sit there at the end of each exhibit, talk about it, and kind of go, "This is what I liked about the museum. This is where I think they could have improved." I give it a, I don't know, like a mid or a high, or like I don't know.
Right. We give it a mid. Great.
Yeah, I was trying to use like the language. I was like, this museum's got great riz on it, you know. Is that how you use riz?
I wouldn't. I don't think that's how it's worked. Okay. I don't think that's how that's used. We can maybe there's a museum of modern language that we could. Oh
yeah, true. We can go into the modern language museum and like it'd be like, yeah, I can see how quickly I can get banned. But no, I think that'd be fun. Maybe go do like the Barbican or like a music one, and then also if we do a Scotland version, we can go to the Museum of Whiskey, which I think will be.
That does sound much more adult, but yes, that sounds good to me.
Perfect. We'll do a London, a Scotland one, and then we can work our way around. So, I don't know what the weather's doing at the moment. I'm a little bit confused. It went from like a warm Christmas to now the bleak midwinter of January. I find myself having to, get a hot water bottle, get a blanket, and sit at my desk or sit in my sofa. And I'm just like, do you know what I'm wishing I had more of, Ollie?
What's that?
Cozy games or like cozy things to do.
Right.
So like for me, cozy things to do is I like to watch YouTubers do travel vlogs. I think that's very cozy. I like to play like cozy games like Animal Crossing and watch people play that sort of stuff. Cult of the Lamb is very cozy to a degree, and just kind of like non brain rotty games, and like Warhammer is very cozy.
Right. Yeah. Okay.
And that's for me how I unwind after a long day. What sort of like cozy activities or what sort of cozy games are you currently doing to relax yourself in this?
I do my Duolingo. That's cozy for me. That's my cozy relief in some way. It's also gamified, so I guess it's kind of a video game in some way, isn't it?
Is it cozy because you're worried the hour's going to get you, and therefore
No,
by doing it, the hour
I
will
don't
no
really
longer
care so
abduct you?
much about that meme, to be honest with you.
Oh, okay.
I mean, it's kind of, I can see it, but I just, but so that's cozy for me, I guess. And I just watch like Twitch streamers and chill. That's my coziness. I mean, we've spoken about the idea of cozy games and what they are, and we have various different thoughts and disagreements, and everyone else seems to disagree as well. But that's fine; they're wrong. But in reality, sometimes games can be cozy. So, like even we've spoken about Hardcore WoW. I find cozy. That's a cozy game just to chill with a friend. I would say it's not a lone game. Cozy has to be with at least one other person.
Okay.
That's when you're just like chilling, shouting at each other. Well, that's how we play. But that's kind of it. I mean, speaking of which, people will be able to see our first ever hardcore attempt. Is it? But it's already come out by the time this podcast is released, right? On the Digital Dungeons channel. So people want to see pure coziness of our gameplay of doing WoW hardcore. World premiere has already happened by the time this comes out, so you need to go find it on the Digital Dungeoneers channel.
Yep.
You could then tell us through the email, which we won't say again because people know what it is already. But you can tell us what you thought, if you thought it was cozy. But yeah, I mean, like things don't have to. Obviously, it can be anything. Like I think just chilling in the warmth, in a blanket, watching Twitch streamers. That's my coziness. That's my me time.
I think there's like I went to the gym earlier, and I was like walking back, and I was like I had like a pepperoni because it's like good protein, it's like low calories, and I was like, this is good. And I was like, I think the way to describe how we play games, Ollie, is cozy core.
Cozy core, right? Okay.
I really liked the name, and I was really proud of myself because I was like, yeah, it's hardcore.
That's such a
but
thing.
It's cozy.
Core after everything. Okay, yeah. Anyway, keep going.
Or would you say hard cozy? Like, do you know what I mean? Like cozy, cozy core.
I'll just say it's cozy. Why do we need to add random things to it?
Because I think our version of cozy is a bit fucked, to be brutally honest. I've had many people emailing going, you guys do not understand the word cozy.
No, they're wrong. I've already stated they're wrong.
We've had people who listen to the podcast come up to me and go, are you absolutely mental? How is Escape from Tarkov cozy? How is like live survival
They're just not
game?
playing it with me. Look, that's the thing. They're just not playing it the right way. They're playing it with me. They know what they're getting.
Oh, so I'm not cozy, but you're cozy. Is that what we're saying here? The cozy elements.
I'm saying that we have a very different play style, and I have to make you play a different way every time we play together, and that's fine. But I would say my play style is cozy, but you'd probably disagree. You'd say that I'm a bit don't know how to put it. You'd probably say I'm not. Well, that's been said before, but I think personally, people play games the way they want to, and if they play it a certain way, that can be their relief, and any sort of relief, I think, can be considered cozy, can't it? So, yeah, that's my comments on the point.
No, that's fair enough. I was just curious because I was just like cozy core. I think that's like its own thing. It's like hardcore games with like a cozy vibe. Does that make sense?
So now what we're gonna have is some random TikTok. It's gonna say cozy core, and then it's just clips from the channel of us playing different games, shouting at each other.
Honestly, I had this idea in my head, right? And I need you to just hear me out. as I pitch this. So
Okay.
I just need the stage for like 2 seconds.
All right.
So you're sat there. Yeah. So exactly. You get it. So imagine this. You've come back home. You're a little stressed out, and you're looking to just hear a couple of people play games and have fun and like shoot the shit, have a little bit of chill time, and just like watch someone play a game. It's not Twitch. It's like pre-recorded friendships online bit. We'd call it cozy core. It's like in between a podcast and a let's play, and it's just around playing hardcore games in a cozy vibe and a cozy manner where you talk about how people are doing and all that sort of stuff. I think, hear me out, I think that would hit a lot of brain areas of people, because there's some people who just want to hear people talk while they do work. I kind of fall into that bracket.
I hate that.
Where I like to hear noises. Some people will be like, oh, I want to like listen in because I don't want to watch a podcast because podcasts are not my thing. But if you hear two people just shooting the crap and kind of talking about what game they're playing, it hits like an interesting thing of like a let's play, and you're invested at that point, and you kind of enjoy how they bounce off one another. Do you get what I mean?
If I had to listen to us two while working, there's no work being done. Like, that's not possible.
No, but I mean, like let's say you come back from work, school, university, whatever, and you're making some dinner. You live by yourself. You want some like human interactivity and comfort, but you don't want to watch TV or like binge stuff. So you whack on the latest episode of Cozy Core, where two friends play cozy games together in hardcore settings, and then you just listen to it.
Yeah, I think this is an F, I'm afraid.
What? Okay,
yeah,
right.
F grade for this idea.
I think we should leave it up to the listeners, right? So, listeners at home, wherever you may be on your earphones currently, if you think this is a great idea and we should pursue this venture, please write in at podcasts@dungeoneers.tv, and we'll take a vote to the next episode and see if Cozy Core is a real thing that will happen. Is that fair, Ollie?
Sure. Let's see what
if we build
say.
it, they will come, you know?
Great.
But in the meantime, thank you so much for listening to There Are No Good Games, the podcast. I've been joined by my wonderful host, Oliver.
That's me, as always.
As always, bringing the cozy vibe. And we'll see you on the next episode in 2 weeks. I'll catch you guys later. Bye.
Fine. Well, I'm not saying bye. They can go